Patrick Laing with Certainty Management. I'm doing a series of videos this week on my experience in the military. I served in the US Army from 86 to 95. One of my biggest regrets in my life was I wasn't able to do 20 years. Unfortunately, I played basketball for the Army for a time, and a series of an injury and some other things happened. I ended up having to get out and take an honorable discharge. I have bad knees. I've had bad knees ever since. Um, but that being said, my experience and my time in the military, as I was saying yesterday, I kind of did a kickoff for this week with in honor of Veterans Day. But it was just a really remarkable experience. I think as I look back on the lessons I learned from my time in the military, there are a number that stand out in my mind. I had a bit of a unique start because I was only 17, so I had to get a waiver signed by my parents. You're supposed to be 18. I had to get a waiver. I went to boot camp the summer between my junior and senior years of high school. I went to Fort Dix, New Jersey, and it was a culture shock from a little high school kid from Orem, Utah, being away from home for the first time and thrown into this experience. But even though the drill sergeants were tough, and even though it was very difficult, and I know even Army isn't nearly as bad as I've heard Marine Corps boot camp and Navy SEAL boot camp and some of these others, or Navy SEAL school, but it was still really difficult. I mean, they ran us everywhere. They screamed at us all the time. We had PT every day. We had classes every day, and they were not easy. I had a really just a really remarkable experience though. It was really challenging, but it was really fun too. I mean, I hate to say it, but it was kind of like going to camp. There was a lot of competition. There was a lot of exercises, and whether it was individually on the firing range or as a team, with war games and orientation and the hand grenade range and all these other things for a kid just out of high school, still in high school, actually, I really enjoyed it. And yet I learned lessons that I have carried with me all my life. Three of the things I learned in the military that I really enjoyed were first the teamwork and the camaraderie that I saw occur. They're really great examples. I've got friends to this day that I met in boot camp or in or advanced training that I've continued to stay in touch with. And they're some of the finest people I've ever met. I was impressed with the organization of the military. It's very detailed. It's not always the most efficient, but it's very organized. It was very planned. And it taught me things that I've tried to apply in my own life and in my business. I was impressed with the sense of purpose for the people that were there. Not everyone was in the military for the right reason. Not everyone had the best attitude. But as the majority and in general, they were fantastic. I mean, people were there because they wanted to serve. Of course, there were those who were there because they didn't have another option. They were looking for just something to do, to create a career out of, and that was fine. But I saw so many people who were there because they wanted to serve. They wanted to serve their country. It was something their family had done for generations. It was something that they really felt strongly about. And I was really impressed with that. So those are some of the lessons I learned. I think there are things we can apply in our own life, in our businesses, whether it's teamwork and camaraderie, whether it's organization and discipline, having a sense of purpose in our work. If we can incorporate these things into our lives and into our work, we can create more certainty for us and those we serve. This is my tip for the day. I'll talk to you later. I wish you the very best. Thanks, and happy Veterans Day week. If you haven't already thanked a veteran, or if you are a veteran, thank you for your service. Please thank a veteran for their service. We're indebted to them. I wish you the very best. I'll talk to you later.